dear brothers and sisters.
It is time to cover up your face.
For the wheel of time has news, and we shall dance the spears with it.
This is the Daily Veil.
Hello, folks. Welcome back to the Daily Veil, your stabbiest place for news and reactions in Wheel of Time. And this week we are doing our live breakdown of episode 6 from season 2 of the Wheel of Time. I have 3 gloriously beautiful, fabulous people with me: Jessica, Sedai, Random Noman, and Beth Domon. Thank you all for joining me this evening.
Hello.
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 How are we? We're a little bit broken, I'm going to guess.
Yes.
Yes, I knew
We're
I
not
wasn't
okay.
ready, and I was not wrong.
We're not okay.
No.
That is fair. Yeah. It's quite an episode. And
Absolutely.
I'm asking in chat for anybody watching. I'll leave the poll up for a while because I know folks will be watching various streams or still watching the episode and things like that. But I'll ask my guess. Best episode so far in this season?
I think of the
Yes
two
or no?
seasons, it's probably the best.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Best episode of the series,
Right.
which
I think
is hard to
that
come by because last week's episode was the best episode in the series.
So that's what I was just gonna say. Each week, I have a new favorite episode, so it's in descending order.
Yeah.
That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Agree.
That's fair. Yeah. Did we require the tissues? Was it
Yes.
because I cried twice watching this episode.
I put
Not
on
like
word
full-on
weights so that I
blubbering?
wouldn't.
All right.
So this is my version of veiling.
Right.
So I did all the crying for us.
That's fair.
I had to pause a couple of times because I recorded my reaction so I can make a YouTube video for it later, and I had to pause a couple of times. I kept the video running and I'll use that, but yeah, it was.
I definitely was much more interactive in my chair. I was leaning forward and tapping my feet and slapping my knees and talking to the screen. All of the things nobody else wants to sit through. He's so lucky.
Yeah.
It was really, it was definitely an episode that pushed a lot of buttons, and I knew it was coming.
That's fair. No, I'm going to disagree with you slightly on the nobody wants to watch it thing, because I watched episode 4 with Leia and a whole group of people, and Leia was like up and down out of a chair and like fuck no.
I
and
actually can attest to this because at WatCon, I had a cuddle puddle with Leia and Amis
Oh, we're
in
telling
a king size
stories now.
bed,
Okay.
and I had streamed Star Wars Jedi Survivor, the video game, and Leia had watched most of my streams, but the last the last night I streamed it was the ending, and it was very climatic, and so she missed it. So when we were at WatCon, we watched my last stream, and her reactions are like chef's kiss. Like, she's literally that person that
If it's on
does
the
this
inside,
to
it's
you.
on the outside.
Leia, I love you.
Yeah.
I love you so much. And I
She's
will
so
cuddle
animated, it's
puddle
great.
with you anytime.
That's so cute. I love that. But shall we, now that we've got out some initial thoughts, shall we actually, I mean, where do we start with this episode?
Can
You
we
gotta
start with
start
Matt?
with the
Let's start
name.
with Matt. No,
Can we
let's
start
start
with,
with
we'll
Matt.
start with Matt? Okay.
Wow, okay.
What particular moment with Matt do you want to start with?
Well, Matt was in the show.
Matt was in the
Matt
episode.
was
Yay!
actually
great start.
present.
We had Matt. Good point. Okay. Let me scroll to where we first see Matt.
I mean, I feel like Egwene's going to take a long time to talk about, so we should
Yeah, that is-
probably get
that's
like the. I mean, Matt was in the show. I didn't think he was going to be in the show because he wasn't in the preview episode from last week. He wasn't in the little mini trailer. I was
Right.
like, we better get Matt and Min, and we did, and I was happy about that.
But
We
you
did.
can't leave them out of 2 episodes. Like, you can't leave them out of a whole book or anything like that.
I mean, heaven forbid. Why would they ever do
Oh,
that? And
fuck.
why would you stop reading the series for 5
Right.
years after that happens?
Yeah.
Because you're so mad because your favorite character isn't in the book that you waited 2 years to come out. I mean,
So
that
then
didn't
Matt,
happen.
I was really excited to have Matt, to your point. I do think of Matt as like the mini death of hope. So I feel like there was a maximum death of hope moment with Egwene, and there was like a mini precursor warm-up death of hope with Matt. So, you know, that was a good time.
Fair. That's
They're
fair.
the two friends meeting and immediately reconnecting.
Oh
I was
my
like,
God.
I was like, that's pretty awesome. I mean, I think we all have friends like if we met.
I love that moment too. It was so cute.
Mhm.
I
And the
have
way
them-
that Rand's face looked afterwards, right? When, you know, when he
Oh,
was
yeah.
like, there's a chance that I'll have a friend to go and do this with. You know, and again, just building up that hope only to have it dashed.
And Matt's heartbreak at watching him go. I mean, it was
Yeah.
once again like he felt he had this moment of almost redemption, because if you remember when he left the White Tower, he saw Egwene crying,
Mm-hmm.
and he turned his back on her and he walked because he knew he was going to be able to get out of there. And to have Rand like show up out of the blue, and of course we know it's Taviran, right?
Yeah.
And that look of hope, and oh my gosh, how good is Donald Finn just jumping in,
Oh my God.
and that camaraderie that they had
Chemistry.
on the chemistry, the rapport that they had built with each other, fantastic. He is
And
doing a great job.
I really liked that moment where Rand called Matt on his BS, or Matt was calling Rand on his bullshit, and then Rand immediately turned around and said, well, we can't do it without you either. I loved the insight and the intimacy, but yet easy feel of that moment.
Yeah.
Do we want to watch that scene where they meet
Yes.
and they chat to
Sure,
each
I
other?
can shut up and you can play it.
No, it's totally fine. I played the other one before. I had it on quiet so we could just sort of like, you know, talk over it. But I'll turn this one up a smidge before I put it on screen. Yeah, here we go.
I cannot imagine that's very easy to park with all your money. So this time we are going for all fours, yeah? It's hard 8, right? So you're going to see a hard 8 right there in the middle of the table. Come on. The money in, yeah? Money in, please. Right,
Wearing
that
the
is
same coat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Do we think that Matt's luck is kicked in yet?
I was going to ask that question.
I
Who's so
don't
smart,
know.
Beth?
Well, he does
I
have
think I
the
would
dark
know
one's
if he
luck.
had gotten the hard 8. If he had gotten the
Yeah.
hard 8, I would know.
This is a good point. Yeah. So
I mean, look at that. Like that.
the sound is very quiet. Apparently.
Yeah.
There we go.
I love the cuffs on Rand's shirt here too. They're just so intricate.
Look at his face. The pure just joy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
What in Lord's name are you doing in country? And where is your hair? Mate, you look bloody cool. Where's everyone else?
They genuinely look like
Right here.
best friends, don't they?
Yeah.
They do. They do. So good.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought that was interesting that Matt would ask
good.
Rand where
Time.
Egwene was.
Well, this first round is
Yeah.
on you, given that you bollocks stopped my rock.
So he didn't get the hard 8. Either that or they just lost money.
Well, they took all the
They
money.
stole
They
it.
from
stole
Rand
it all
when,
because he turned
when
around.
his back
'cause
was
Rand
turned.
showed up.
Yeah. That's true. So
Yeah.
I don't think his luck's in yet. I think he's just
I don't think so.
Yeah, I think he's just gambling away. I think we'll see something that, you know, points that his luck is on fire.
I want it to be more significant than just
Yeah.
Do you think Ishi planted the vision Min had?
Oh, okay. Jess, you're reacting a certain way there. I'm guessing you have a thought
Well,
around this.
first off, the whole the concept, right? The actual theory that Beth is saying is fire. But did anybody else catch that Lanfear actually called him Ishi? And
Yes, I did. I mentioned it. I
Yeah.
was like,
anybody
fan
remember
service.
it ever being called Ishi in a book? Like that's
No.
not book canon. That's fan canon.
That is fan canon.
And I lost my shit.
I did too.
Yes.
I did too. I was so excited.
So yeah, no, great theory, Beth. I think it's worth exploring.
I mean, I just have to wonder if he did something, right? Whatever, to manipulate her into seeing that.
And
Because
also, is the dagger with Matt? Like, I don't think we know for sure where the dagger is, but I feel that a lot of us at least are assuming that the dagger is still with Fane.
right.
So
I think
Okay.
Issue is going to try to make himself look like Matt in Falm, and that's where the wound comes in the side. That never heals.
Oh,
They'll do a Mask of Mirrors and getting.
that's another good one.
No, see, I keep hearing, and they are great theories, but I think that this plays in much, much later. I feel this is like, a throwaway vision at the early stages that doesn't come to fruition until season 6 or season 8.
Oh.
right,
like
it's
that.
a deep plant.
But he's
Yeah, I think
wearing the
it's-
clothes that he was wearing. Like, I can't picture Matt still wearing ragamuffin clothes.
Yeah.
But I'd have to go back and rewatch it because I could be wrong.
No, he is wearing the clothes that he's currently seen in. So, but I don't know. I just feel like it's. Skid is like, here's the third time I cried. Oh, yeah, definitely.
I think it would explain the wound in the side, though. That
It's true. Yeah, and Lanfear apparently suggests you've just said that it's in Ren's dreams that this happens.
Yeah.
Yes, Lanfear says it in Rand's stream. Oh yeah, that's when.
Oh, that's
when
the
he
issue
says
part?
issue.
Right. Oh,
yeah,
right. Okay,
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
And also that in that dream, it's Matt adjacent. Did you notice that it looked like Matt had a damaged eye in Rand's nightmare?
He did. Yeah.
No, I did
Yes.
not catch that.
Yes.
1 second. Let me go back to that dream because
Half the
I
light
saw
of the
that.
world, baby.
Oh my
Mhm.
god. Okay.
I was trying to see if there's any other Easter eggs in there, but
Yeah, I kept looking as well.
I did not catch that. See, I caught some things, but I didn't catch everything.
Don't worry, I peaked. Like those were my highest moments. I didn't. I probably was asleep for the rest.
1 second. Let me just. I'm playing for that scene. I'll pause it at the appropriate moment so you can actually see. But yeah, I picked that up as well because it happens in Nynaeve's test as well, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh, damn it!
When she sees everybody dead, he's dangling off the stairs.
Yes.
And has a damaged eye.
Yeah.
God bless it, man. Sharp eyes. Sharp eyes.
Yeah.
Leia says she wants all of Lanfear's wardrobe, and
I'm
I
already
thought you already
salty
had it.
about how much I love Lanfear. I was not ready to
Really?
be made a Lanfear stan.
Oh, dude. Matt Hatch must just be living his best life right now.
Because
was
she's
just
just
absolutely
delivering
living
hand
his
over
best life.
fist.
Oh, look at
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
There is so many.
So this
moments.
you see it from
I
two
won't go.
angles. Going
I'll
back
stop
to
on
Matt's eye.
Lanfear.
That's fine. Going back to the Matt's eye thing, there's two angles. Obviously, you see it right here,
Yes.
and then I will have to play and pause it real quick. So 1 second, right there.
Yes. How did I not pick up on that? How the
I
heck
was looking
did I
for
not
it. I
pick
legitimately
up on
after Nynaeve's dream, I was looking for it.
Yeah.
Well, bloody brilliant, Jessica Sedai.
Yes.
didn't
Of
think.
the
Bloody
brown
brilliant.
Aja, because of course you are.
It is very cool. But I didn't see anything else in this dream sequence. Like, unlike Nynaeve's accepted test, where like Perrin dies via the axe, things like that. There was nothing else with the other characters there that sort of pointed out to me, unless I missed something.
The Perrin imagery looked like the carving into the back, like
Yes.
involved.
Yes,
Yeah,
that,
I saw
That
Valda
was
did.
the only other
There's
thing that
Ah.
stood out to
Mhm.
me.
Yes,
in
I did
that
see
dream
that.
sequence.
I missed that. Okay.
Yeah. Leia said show Lanfear is definitely a combo of book Lanfear and book Semirog. Last week I said Matt Hatch asked what your favorite thing was, and I said Lanfear cosplaying a Semirog.
Nice.
Not for
You know-
nothing, though. She has delivered, so our good friend Chief Foldy has been saying from the get-go that
Yes.
if she's Lanfear, she's gonna deliver. And
Oh,
God bless him,
she's-
he's not wrong.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And they're like she flips that switch so fast between doting psychosis and just low-level psychopath. Like, you wouldn't want to bore me because I'll just kill you.
Right.
And she just flips that switch so fast, so subtle, but so tangible, even just by the
Mhm.
look on her face.
yeah, sometimes it's just a change in the expression, then right back.
It's
I think
wild.
that's amazing.
And
Yeah.
you guys notice how she looks a little bit older and more sophisticated in the dream world, like with her shorter hair?
Yes.
She looks probably 10 or 15 years older than she does when she's looking like Seline with the long flowing hair and the, dressy robes. I think that's, of course, it's intentional because Seline was supposed to be a younger woman, but Natasha O'Keefe, holy crap, man. She is not how I would have pictured Lanfear in my head canon. She's perfect.
She's
perfect.
Yeah,
when she's playing Lanfear.
Sorry, go ahead, Rob.
I'm saying when she's playing Lanfear, I'm in for it. She's nailing it. Although I do have to say, I think they're going too hard on the crazy ex-girlfriend vibe.
Okay.
I'm getting too much crazy ex-girlfriend vibe.
Okay, but at the same time, it feels more grounded. So for me, book Lanfear felt very two-dimensional.
Yeah.
Just based on the reading of a 21-year-old who doesn't know crap. But
you know crap now.
I still don't know crap, but it's fine. So I think that it reads as more grounded and believable. Although it's a little much.
Maybe it's a little much. I didn't like Seline. I didn't get the whole play a part Seline thing. I get Ishi's play a part now thing with the Shanshan because he was introduced as evil. Seline playing a part and then okay, for show watchers, they don't know that she's Lanfear. But then, the reveal, and then you look back at it and think, it just, Seline just didn't grab me. Lanfear always came across as evil, and Ishi still feels evil when he's playing a part with the Shanshan. Lanfear didn't feel evil while she was playing Seline. And it just, it didn't fly for me. But then when she flipped and was just like, right, well, I'm going to pop someone's head off and sew someo's mouth shut. It felt very Lanfear. So.
But I wonder. Go
ahead. No, go ahead.
I wonder if they're going to do that because Lanfear is going to spend time going and playing both sides in her own way. So you can't give her evil all the way. You have to give her a little bit of room to come back this way, because otherwise, how can she play both sides in her own way? I say
the jury's out for me. I'm not fully sold. Well, that's mostly where I'm going with that.
And non-book readers don't know how to compare Seline to Lanfear, right? Like they just think that she's until end of episode 4 in the reveal.
Yeah.
They think she's like some woman that Rand is using to forget about Egwene because he's so heartsick about Egwene. And they even have that conversation. She's like, I'm trying to remember somebody. And he's like, well, I'm trying to forget somebody. And we're perfect for each other. Right. So, I mean, I'm still on the fence about the whole plot line of her being inserted in Kyrian the way she was inserted in Kyrian.
It's easier.
That's what I'm saying.
It is easy. It is easy, but
it didn't feel Lanfear to me.
I wish there was some sort of we could see or get some exposition on how Rand ended up in Kyrian and how Seline, when was she, how long before the events that are happening now take place was she released? And
she's done a lot of setup to have a bar and people that recognize her as Seline, that sort of stuff.
Right.
So it's felt very planned and put together to get to that stage where Rand can turn up.
Unless everybody around her's dark friends and they're playing a role.
Maybe. I don't know.
But I mean, Beth Domon gave a time of when it was last month they found
when the moon dial broke.
Oh yeah.
And then
true.
I backfilled the exposition with her and Ishamael talking about, is she asking her, how did your Kyrian and Innkeeper plan work out for you? So I backfilled that exposition.
That makes
sense. She planted herself there. And then tonight, we found out, or I found out at least, that Moraine had moved Logain to entice Rand there. So, I feel like bits and pieces of that were given across the episodes.
Yeah.
Fair. All right. Before there's going to be a lot of talk about Egwene, I feel. That's definitely one of the biggest part of this episode. But is there anything else you immediately wanted to jump to talk about first?
How about the tree singing?
The tree singing. Oh, that was very cool.
And they have completely, which in the right way, is it the Davaval?
Dakaval.
I'm glad they changed that because that would have been an awkward thing to see Loial in. But
Ugh.
that robe is completely different. But
Yep, that is very different. Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah.
Him in his in naked robes would be disturbing.
Weird.
Yeah, very
but
weird.
there were servants who were
I mean,
in
he is
robes
still
like that last week, though. The attendants to the High Blood, the people holding the umbrellas, the parasols over the High Blood when what's her name, Suroth's nails were cut, and they were all in the courtyard. If you go back and you look, they were all wearing kind of scantily clad white, almost see-through robes.
I can honestly say I was not looking at that.
That's fair. If you look at the subtitles here,
Have you seen
this right now.
my Dakaval?
So he is still called Dakavalli. They've just changed his robes here. So
Yep.
And they
call him Gardener, which is
Yeah.
interesting.
Also, I couldn't help but wonder, based on her reaction, I understand that him tree singing took attention away from her. But I almost got the feeling like she didn't expect that him singing would have that effect. Is that how it seemed to you guys as well?
Yeah, I read this as like, you know, she wants him to tree sing and he'll make a flower bloom or something stupid like that. Whereas actually Loial has it very strongly and he makes the bush go wild.
Yeah.
When people are blown. It says to me that tree singing is not something that is very common or powerful in the slightest in Sha-Chan.
Right.
I'm trying to remember tree singing because this almost seems like the song from the Age of Legends. Like, because they could make the trees grow. Wouldn't the Aiel gather and sing?
They would sing with the Ogier.
Isn't tree singing like forming objects?
Well, you form objects from the tree, like sung wood. You could like there was a sung wood bed in the village that Perrin they went through, and then he sung wood. Stop it! I see that smirk, Jessica.
It was Leia's fault. I didn't do anything.
Oh God.
the you know, when he this is gonna sound so bad, but when he sang the staff, when he had the sung wood staff,
when he sung himself a big long length of sung wood.
Yes, exactly. That, yes.
So it is the Aiel song. They would gather with the Ogier and the Semeshta and sing. I'm trying to remember from that part of, is that what they would do?
Yeah, but I don't think that's
it's not what the Ogier do.
Yeah, it's not what the Ogier do. No, they were just singing to like singing to like crops, make them grow better and more resilient and things like that. So
yeah.
That's what they saw in the columns.
Yes.
Right. It reminded me that
cool.
What happened there reminded me more of an homage to when Semeshta died and he sang to bring the tree to like save the tree. That's what that reminded me of in the Blight. I was like, oh, they were giving a little bit of homage to Eye of the World, to his tree singing in the Eye of the World. The thing that reminded me in that was, I don't know if you guys have ever seen or read books that take place in like ancient Rome or ancient Greece where there's like this underlying sense of menace and everything, but the upper class like just act like everything is frivolous and there's no worries in the world and everything is just fine. That's totally like the seedy under like slavery and, you know, breaking the backs of the normal person, but the upper echelons of a caste system are reaping the benefits of that and they have no worries. And so they just laugh and eat and drink and be merry. And it's like, it's to excess. That's what that scene reminded me of. And
but Beth, men are not supposed to think about the Roman Empire. TikTok tells us that.
God dang it.
I actually forgot that was a thing going around.
I forgot too.
I it'd be like, so Rob, how often do you think about the Roman Empire? I'm like, what? Like, what? That's a weird question. And they were like,
I think about it a lot, but it's okay.
I don't know. I don't. They're like, oh, it's a trend.
You're like Dr. Livingston. If you say you're thinking about the Roman Empire, you actually probably mean the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's a cool part of history.
Why wouldn't you? It's amazing.
It's an amazing part of history.
It's and you know, empires rise and fall, and history repeats itself. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, there's so much that we have now because of the Roman Empire. It's
Exactly.
it's the start of a lot of it.
Aqueducts.
Okay,
There we go.
Highways.
Back
Sorry.
on track.
we're here to talk about Wheel of Time, not Judas.
Well,
Hey, the wheel of time turns. Ages come and pass.
yeah.
Yeah, we'll go straight past the Roman one. Okay.
Okay.
The other thing, since we were talking about the Loial part with the tree singing, but Ingtar, I think the guy playing Ingtar is just doing a great job. He's
Amazing.
Ingtar was one of the most interesting early characters.
Yeah.
That was not one of the main characters because so many of the other characters in the first 2 or 3 books are just two-dimensional because it's the start. Ingtar was, I think, the first one where you got kind of a glimpse of, oh, there's going to be these background characters you got to pay attention to. You know,
Yeah.
there's stuff going on with some of these people, and I think Ingtar is a good example of that.
Yeah.
And he's nailing it.
And he's very pretty.
He is a very pretty man. Yeah.
He is very pretty. And
I'm curious how he's managed to. They're talking about, you know, places and the kennels and where the horn is and stuff. I'm curious how he must be doing a lot of serving to have worked out all of this.
no, he's a dark friend. He's being fed this information to I think he's fulfilling the role that Ishamael has put him in as a dark friend. I don't think again he is somebody who is going to try to seek redemption, right?
Right.
I hope they don't lose that. That was such an important part of
Agree 100%. I just hope, but I do think that he's being fed this information, whether he intentionally knows where it's coming from, but he's
See, I had a different take. I feel like he has served his purpose because they were able to get into Faldara, and now he's throwaway, and so he was scooped up, and Ishi couldn't care less. That's my honest take. My honest take is he's still a dark friend. I'm still fingers crossed for the redemption arc.
right.
I also agree that Greg Chillinrian is doing a great job. I think that's how you say his name. I'm not sure. And that I just think that he served his purpose, and now Ishi no longer cares about him. So he got swooped up when Perrin and everybody else got swooped up. So nobody cares. He's disposable.
Yeah, because Ishi doesn't stare at him; he stares at Loial. He stares at you know, Perrin and that.
That's
so,
yeah.
while we're on the
but
subject of dark,
he could
no, go Beth.
be doing it on purpose for subterfuge. I mean, just throwing it out there. Who knows? You guys could be right. You probably are right, but
I'm often wrong about things. So,
well, so am I. So
the Ingtar story is just so good. It's such an important part of, but it's important for Rand, and it's like I don't know how they're going to get that back because it's something that Rand thinks about later.
yeah, because they're using it for Perrin, don't they? Which I'm okay with, to be honest. I think it's I think it works well. But while we're on the subject of dark friends, there was something about this episode that didn't work for me, and that was the whole Lan's a dark friend thing.
Yeah, that got me off guard.
Yeah,
I'm just like, oh, okay, so this is why Alana, Maxim, and Ivan are concerned about the note in his bag, and you know, they think he's secretly a dark friend out to kill Swan Sanche. I'm like, huh? Didn't get that.
It took me completely out. I was like, oh, that's what you guys think? Talking out loud to the television, was straight up just confused by it. It never would have occurred to me. And maybe that was the bit. Maybe that was the point, that there are definitely those of us who would never have seen it coming to think he's a dark friend.
But I think it's kind of interesting if they're like if you think somebody's a dark friend, they're like, well, I'm going to get you to prove it because I'm going to take you to a temple to the dark friends, to the Forsaken, and be like, huh? What do you think?
that was the thing that I couldn't wrap my head around, that there would be a temple to the Forsaken still standing.
Yeah.
And they know what it is.
Yeah.
That was what, unless those are supposed to mirror the same statues that
Stefan
had.
I mean, if you look at it that way, it's still in culture. It's just an old kind of pagan kind of thing, I think. Is what
Yes, yes. It just that threw me though. That took me out of the immersive experience that I was having in the episode. It was one of those like that didn't happen in the book moments for me. And I've been trying really hard to disassociate this show from the books because it's much more entertaining when you watch it for its own merit, not comparing it to the books. But when I have stuff like that that's so different, I'm like, that's when it's hard for me. That's when it's more
for me. This scene doesn't land, not because this scene is bad, although camping in a darkfriend circle of statues is weird. It's not because the writing or the delivery by the actors in the scene doesn't land for me. It's because there was no setup in previous episodes that linked well through to this. It kind of felt in previous episodes that, I mean, I literally said it in my reactions. Oh, do they think Lan's going to run off? Like, oh, I think he's like, there's a secret that like Moraine's run off, and the thing says if Lan goes with her, then he'll die, and she doesn't want him to die or anything. That's how it all felt. That's how the writing was delivering that for me. And then we get this scene that actually explains, no, they all think Lan's a darkfriend. I'm like, Lan Mandragoran of all people, like I don't it did. So I think it's the writing in previous episodes that have not set this up that allows this scene not to deliver the way it should.
Sorry, go ahead, Daniel.
Although I do love the fact that you get to see Maxim and what's the other warder's name?
Ivan
and Maxim. You get to see the kind of the predator, the hard warder side of them that you never get to see. And you even had the little samurai Asian thing of, if I move my blade out anymore, I have to draw it out kind of feel of samurai thing. And you got to see the hard warder version of them instead of just the laughing and having fun. So I like that. But
like I say, I think it's previous setup that has let this scene not be as good as it should have been.
I agree.
Agree.
But I mean, every scene in an episode can't be perfect, so and this I think is some of the best writing of the season so far. Like,
agree.
There is moments I did not expect, unless there's someone wants to jump to someone particularly very quickly. There's a couple of moments that really got me, and one of them was this one. Let me hit play. Come on, load up. This is what happens when you can't download it. I love yes, Jess, hard water version. You can say those things on stream. You don't have to type them in chat, although I do appreciate that you type them in chat.
It's memorialized.
Memorialized. This is true. So this whole scene,
where
Min is like making a decision about what do I do, and then Matt comes in his jovial, I've just found one of my best friends way. I love this mini Min. Have you got company?
Mini Min.
Yeah. It's all so cute.
And heartbreaking at the same time.
Again, another miniature death of hope moment.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. This one, I don't know. Donald's delivery here is just it's he's
top tier. He is top tier.
Yeah,
he's
so betrayed. Good. He's heartbroken. He's shocked. He's angry.
I love the fact that they didn't do the tropey, but I never told you Rand's name. It's like that's what they were getting the point across. But it's such a trope to use that in writing of, but I never said his name. It's like, how do you know Rand?
And watch his face. He smiles through the whole constellation of emotions he experienced through this interaction. He's smiling the whole time
because he doesn't want to believe it. And Min's there basically crying in front of him. Because she's this scene, I definitely teared up at this scene.
Yes, it was heart-wrenching to watch, and mostly more because you feel like poor Matt just can't get a break, man. He just can't get a break, because even when he's acting selfish, right? When he's acting like a rogue, when he's acting like a total asshat, he's doing it to make someone else better. right?
Mhm.
Like when you think about back even to episode 1, right? When he stole the bracelet to get the money to get the stuff for his sisters. And his whole reason for leaving in episode 6 or 5, whenever it was to help to get back to his sisters. Everything was about his family. And when the little girl died, in episode 3, or 2, or whenever, I can't remember, this so long ago. But anyway, all those things, like he's just been let down after let down after let down. And
Yeah.
he has a good heart. He's so cynical because life has treated him so poorly. But did you guys catch last week when Ishamael said that Matt was born his?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
When
I
he
don't know
said
what
Matt
that
was
means.
born mine.
And also that the fact that as Perrin becomes more the
More of
wolf,
a
he
wolf.
becomes more his, and I'm like, I don't
I think that
subscribe to
one's.
that. I'm not sure I
I
buy
think
into
that's
that.
Ishii lying to him in effect.
Yeah,
because
I agree.
more wolf he
Agreed.
becomes, the more powerful he becomes, and thus more of a threat. So he's like, let me make him terrified of becoming a wolf by saying, actually, you becoming a more wolf makes you more evil and more mine.
Right.
I think he was just playing that the other way.
I think it's a nature versus nurture thing. Is that if it's almost like Superman. What was the one comic when Superman was raised in Russia? He was a villain. When he was raised in Kansas, he was a hero. Matt doesn't really get nurtured very much. So
he doesn't.
I mean, he's primed to be a dark friend in the version they made it. So
are you saying that Ishii made Natty a drunk and Abel a player?
would you put it past him?
Or a scoundrel? Yeah, I mean, possible. Yeah.
A simple tweak can put this person in line for what I need to be.
Good questions.
Yeah. So thank you, Julie, by the way. Folks, if you are here for the first time, please subscribe to the channel and please like the video so other Wheel of Time fans can find this. While you're here, there are links. I'll add more because I, for some reason, only put Twitter in, but everyone's Twitter account is in the description. So please go there and I will add in Beth's Twitches, where you primarily stream these days. Is it, Beth?
Yeah, I stream on Twitch, but I've been posting long form YouTube content as well.
Nice.
So yes.
Yeah.
Beth,
So I'll add
are you
those
playing
in.
Baldur's Gate yet?
Yes, I've been playing so I had Baldur's Gate on early access, so I already played it for 2 years before it came out. And then I started streaming it when before my surgery, and then after my knee surgery, I wasn't streaming, so I stopped playing it. And then I bought it on my PlayStation, and it's really different on console because of the controller, and so I stopped playing it. And now I'm not going to go back into Baldur's Gate 3 until after Assassin's Creed Mirage comes out, which Shohei Agudashlu is one of the primary voice actors for. So,
Ooh,
yes.
Very cool.
Yeah, sorry, that was a tangent, but yes, Baldur's Gate 3 is amazing. Best role-playing game I have played in the last 10 to 20 years, probably. Yeah, it's amazing.
I'm going to pull up some comments now. Lonia Sky Shine, welcome. I don't often see you in chat, so it's great to see you. Wasn't sure I could accept someone who wasn't Barney, but he's so good. Yeah, Donal is
so good.
incredible.
So good.
Yeah.
I was very skeptical. I wanted to believe in the team, and obviously the casting director has done a phenomenal job left and right, but I was very hesitant about how I was going to go, and Donal has just been a dream.
Yeah. For me, it's his physicality, his acting with his hands that really sells it for me.
Yes, agree.
Yeah.
The little thing he did when she was going into his cell and he was making hand gestures to indicate the bolt sliding and the key and all of that. And I was like, that's friggin' brilliant.
I don't know. I never thought of Matt this way, but one of the things I like about the way Donal is doing it is it's almost got like a scarecrow energy, because he almost like kind of folds over himself because his legs are so long, and when he sits, it's almost like this weird kind of, my body is, I don't know how to explain it, but I love that scarecrow energy is what I describe it as.
Yeah, it does feel good. Nicole Tesla says, my gut tells me that Matt follows Rand to
God, I
farm.
hope so.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he absolutely will. They'll all end up there. That's going to be, I can't believe we only have 2 episodes left.
I know.
God.
Do you realize it's been only like 4 weeks since the episodes dropped? No, 3 weeks.
Whirlwind.
4 weeks is the 4th week, right?
This is the 4th. Yeah, 1, 2, and 3, 4, 5. Yeah, so this is only the 4th week. We've only had
And we've been
From-
waiting for 2 years, and now we're probably
Yeah.
going to have to wait for how much longer for a season
I'm
3?
hearing 18 months. 18 months is what I'm hearing, folks.
Ah,
We'll
can't
have
guarantee-
origins to keep ourselves occupied. It's fine.
Exactly.
we do.
yes.
We do, for sure.
Lonely Sky Shine coming back in when Rand and Min become a couple. He does, or they do clarify this in a
Yeah.
follow-up comment. If they become a couple, it will make for some interesting distrust from Matt.
Yeah.
Maybe. I never got the vibe that Matt was into Min. I always pictured them as like a gallivanting duo,
Yeah.
like
yeah.
living their best buddy life.
Yeah, I
Um,
think of them as a buddy comedy, honestly. But
yes.
Because that's the only way Matt can be friends is to be a little flirty. I think he's that guy that can
Right.
only
He's
be
that guy.
flirty and-
Right.
Yeah.
I was like, when I saw them, I was like, oh, look, they're the wingmen. They're the wing people. They're each other's wing people.
I remember saying this needs to be a buddy cop movie.
It's like wingman energy. That's the vibe I get from them.
Absolutely. Brother Zachariah is coming in saying he reckons Matt is a descendant of Ishi. That's interesting.
Oh.
Never considered that.
I don't know
Okay,
if I like
Zach.
that.
I see you.
I don't
Yeah.
like the idea of descendants of Forsaken. That's a bottle I don't want to open. Let's just leave that closed and buried at the bottom of the ocean.
That's fair. And Nick reckons maybe it's Matt who can touch the world of dreams as their parent, and therefore Matt was born mine. The statement from Ishi comes from. I think you might get a few complications with how the wolves communicate, because it's very much there's a link there.
Yeah.
But interesting to think about it. So welcome, Max. Apparently, this is sad to hear, but welcome, Max.
Oh,
to
too
apparently
many
there's a lot of
negative Nancy's.
Nancy's in the Dusty Wheel chat. Okay, well,
Boo.
hopefully, I
That
can't
was
be there to
awesome.
moderate, but hopefully the mods that are there at the moment are all like pew pew pew, kicking them out. So
Whatever.
exactly.
So Rob, you said that there were 2 things that.
Oh,
What was the other
yeah.
thing?
The other one that really got there was a moment I got chills, and that was where was it? I'm scrolling through now. It's where Reimer gives over her ring.
Oh yes.
Oh my god, that was another crying moment for me.
Mhm.
Do you?
It wasn't quite a crying moment for me, but it was a moment that really, gave me
When I
chills,
heard her name last week, I gasped. I was like, because she's one of the ones that's captured,
Mhm.
and oh my god, yeah, I was just
yeah, I got chills watching this moment. This
Mm-hmm.
was, and this was like building up for me, and the way she's handing over a ring, like I was feeling this a lot. But it's not even like the actual act of handing over a ring. It's this line right now,
Mhm.
sister.
Because this is the moment that shattered Nynaeve's barrier between herself as a human being and the Aes Sedai as human beings.
agree.
Watching her getting collared
Yeah.
humanized them. So she had that moment of weakness. She called out. Elaine had to cover her mouth. All of that equals they're no longer just monsters, to use a word from the show.
Yeah.
They are
Yeah.
actually people who can have the level of commitment and loyalty that she has, and are no longer separate and apart and other to her.
What
And-
I was wondering was, are these the rings the 3 Wonder Girls are going to use later in the story to act as Aes Sedai?
Because we have a
Oh.
yellow,
You have
blue,
yellow, blue, and
green,
green.
gray.
Oh, I hadn't considered that.
Interesting. I didn't
Nice
either.
pick.
Nice catch. Nice
So
question.
Rayma is Pura. That's what I thought. So I was trying to remember
Yes.
Pura's name. I was trying to remember Pura's name the whole episode without
Yeah.
going to the.
And I love
companion.
Leia, like, my
Yeah,
kiss is
Yeah,
captured
but that's
object.
the thing. I think they're making Magden Pura instead of
from a storytelling
standpoint. Yeah.
Yes.
But talk about the
Yeah.
foreshadowing, right? Because
Yeah.
when
And honestly, I knew that when she mentioned the Shan-Chen
The-
boats
in the west,
the back.
boats in the west. Yes, yes, that was like great foreshadowing. And she's like, and then with her thing from Egwene, you lasted longer than I did, child, and I was a sitter from the Blue Aja.
What did you describe it as when she was?
It
using
sounded
the-
like catechism when Egwene
Yes.
first spoke through the wall, and she wouldn't answer with any of her own words. She kept just reciting
The
what she
rules.
had learned.
Yeah.
I was like, it's very much like catechism.
She was broken.
Yeah.
She was
Yeah.
broken, and
Absolutely. There's a lot of trauma there.
the
For me,
Real quick, though, for me, when we were talking about Elaine covering up Nynaeve's mouth, she's killing it as Elaine. She is nailing it as Elaine.
yeah, I don't know. I go back and forth on Kira. It's just
Really?
I think yes. Now,
Rob, you're weird.
no. She just it's funny. She feels because she's I say this unlike Donal also is in the same position, but she's new to the role this year because the character wasn't in season 1, and obviously Donal didn't play Matt in season 1. But I don't know. She feels a little bit like how the rest of them felt in season 1. Like I'm still like I'm getting the character, but I'm still.
But there's moments.
Oh yeah, there's absolutely moments. That's where I go back and forth. I'm like, oh, she absolutely nailed this Elaine moment right here. That's amazing. Other moments where she feels a bit more like I'm still learning to be Elaine, even though Rafe says she's just Elaine full stop, and she very much gives that in her Instagram posts and things. It felt there were moments where I'm like, oh, this is like the kids from season 1 moment type thing.
I can see that.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, she's a terrible actress or she's bad at playing the part or anything like that. It's just like some moments I just watch her. I'm like, oh, yeah, I forget you're new this season, you know?
Yeah.
So it just brings me back and forth on her a little bit, you know?
Can we talk about the camera shot when Elaine and Nynaeve grasped hands when that was happening? It was just a full-on shot of Nynaeve and Elaine's hands just holding, and I was like, this is where their friendship is forged. This is when the walls are taken down, and this is when they know that they can inherently trust each other. No holds barred, no questions asked. They're in it together.
Even though they don't admit it.
Well, they're in the same sinking ship. I'm like, no matter what you dress it up with, they're in the same sinking ship.
But I loved that
each have just as much to lose.
The hands being held, and it was like it was beautiful to me because Nynaeve's hand is darker than Elaine's hand, and it just resonated with me. It was like different people from different walks of life, acceptance of their circumstances, and it just really hit home with me, that one image for like that 2 seconds that it was in frame. It was really well done.
Yeah, I mean, we can watch that. And the other bit that made me cry was watching Ryman get captured, to be honest.
Oh my God, it broke my heart. It absolutely broke my heart. She knew what was going to happen, and she knew her warder was going to die. She wanted to die. She was thinking he was about to do it. And then the glass sword through his...
Is that a sword of air, wasn't it? Not a glass sword.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah,
Sword of air. Yeah. That's what I meant.
We'll play that now. But yeah, it's a rough scene. But that's the other moment that really made me cry.
Trigger warnings, guys.
Yes, you will cry watching this, folks.
Trigger warnings for violence and capturing.
And there's this going.
My cup.
And what she does to the Suldam.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's it.
But the other thing I liked too was seeing her and the warder kind of mirror what Lan and Rain did in the first.
Yes, working together.
They're just kind of flowing together. Oh God.
So
who can fit in a box?
Daniel had a lot of fun with all the body work. So every time somebody's contorted in a strange angle, Daniel has a little bit of a hard time.
Yeah. I mean, the contortionist they hired to do this is amazing.
Yeah.
Incredible.
But yeah, just and I love the way that the Damani, when she's killing the Suldam, react.
Yeah.
You know.
And also before we do jump into Egwene, because I'm sure we need to give her due.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
When Nynaeve did contribute to the weave to explore the collar, the way the way she said it needs to be healed. It needs to be won.
Warm.
It needs
That's
to
it
be
right there.
worn.
Yeah.
And it was like the revulsion in her voice. Like she
Mhm.
used the word heal, but you could tell like it didn't sit well with her. It was
Mhm.
it was a pretty wild moment.
What
Yeah.
what does everybody think about the collar expanding into the whole like neck piece? I don't love the CGI on that.
I don't
Because
love
I
the
don't-
CGI, but I think I like the finished product of it. I
like the
think it
finished
makes
product,
it
yes.
easier to understand, and it makes it look like not dog collar, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree with that. It just looks very
visually.
very clockwork because it's like gears turning and it's
Yeah.
just, that disconnects
Yeah.
me a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, short of you just having it reveal itself like some kind of Doctor Strange mask and mirrors
Yeah.
type thing.
Or it's very
I mean,
Iron Man-ish looking, right?
yeah, if
I
it's a
think
little Iron
that's-
Man-ish, yeah. Yeah, I mean, but
But-
that's kind of what you've got these days, isn't it? Like, no one's really, they've gone, like, you've got Iron Man, or you've got Nano Iron Man, in effect. That's kind of what the YouTube methods
Right.
is what you've got. But I agree. I think the CGI for when, and we'll play some of that, when Egwene is like breaking the rules,
Yes,
so to speak. I think
that's
that's
great.
very effective. Yeah.
Very
Yeah.
good.
Oh my
Just
God.
the
it just-
vibration it sort of gives off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
But the finished product definitely gives more slave than pet.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah.
Because you can
Yes.
give that, as we see in the episode, you can very much give like, you are nothing, you are just, you're not a woman type thing, you are a Damane, like that gives enough of those vibes already, that you don't
Mhm.
need to make them look like pets.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then you can go with the slavery vibe.
And so before we jump into Egwene, I just wanted to mention one other scene real quick.
Yeah, of course.
Lanfear and Liandrin.
Oh, yeah.
Oh
When
yes. Very good.
Lanfear did Liandrin the favor of cutting any ties to her old life so she can fully, wholeheartedly, 100% embrace her dark friendish side, her black Aja side.
And
To
you
be fair, she probably did think it was a favor. She
Yeah.
thought she
I'm
was
sure
doing
she
her
did. Again,
and
though.
you got her backstory. You
get her backstory. The reason,
yeah.
the reason why
being-
she hates men. She was
Yeah.
forced to marry somebody before she even started her period when she was a child.
Yeah.
And
Stop making me understand and
like
empathize with
this,
bad people.
That's fair.
not to mention Kate freaking Fleetwood's delivery this entire season.
Did you see Kate tweeted earlier today?
I did not.
okay,
I've been
one
off
second.
of Twitter this week.
That's
I
fine.
have too. So as the show, I couldn't wait going into this season to do and experience all of these things real time with everybody. I have not. I have hidden from social media because I can't handle. I realized going into premiere night that I didn't want spoilers. I got to a week before when all the sizzles started coming out, and I was like, no, it's too much like spoilers. No.
I just don't like all the. I don't mind, like, considering what's going to happen next, but I don't like the micro analyzing of every frame of every episode, scene by scene by scene, to see what little secrets might be told in, episode 1 that we're going to see foretold, come to fruition in episode 8. I just want to enjoy it. I'll go back and do that stuff after and say that was really cool that they did that.
Yeah.
And and that's a lot of what is on my feeds for my social media from the show is like, oh, this screenshot shows this and this screen. And I'm like, I don't want to get into that deep dive microanalysis of I just want to enjoy the show and the plot and the story right now. So that's kind of why I'm
too. Turns out I don't mind doing that after the fact, but I want to go into the episode pristine. So
exactly. And I don't mind watching that. Like, I watched the preview for next week after this is done. I instantly go and watch it just so I have an idea. But
I don't actually watch those until much closer to the episode. I don't know
and that's why like
don't.
when you were talking about like the dark friend, like Land's a dark friend thing, that was totally the theme of last week's preview trailer after episode 5 was done. I was like, oh, they think Land might be a dark friend.
Weird.
And so I wasn't super surprised with that plotline coming up this week. Yeah. So But there are some people who don't even like to watch those. They're like, nope, I don't want to know. I don't want to know.
Yeah.
So I'll watch those and stuff. But I just don't like the like absolute micro analysis of everything, you know. So and to each his own. And if people like to do that, then that's fantastic. But for me, I just want to enjoy the story first, and then we can go back and micro analysis, because we're going to need something to do for 18 months to 2 years, right? So.
This is very true. Yeah, this is why I only do. So I do this because I want to, like, I love the Dusty Wheel, and I'm not here to like bag on Matt or anything like that. But like, I don't want to do granular. You know, there's too much. Like when we had the Varen reveal and they were analyzing lamps, are those lamps from Tarvalon?
Yeah.
They lamps from somewhere else. I'm like, you love that? Great, go for it, folks. Please do that. But that's not for me. And that's why I'm doing these live streams, because I'm like, I just want to have fun. We'll talk about moments. We'll get granular later. We'll break things down later.
Yeah.
So we're just doing these, and I do my own reactions, which is literally just like the first time I've watched the episode and what I think of it in the moment. And then after the season is finished, I'll be like, right, now let's go back and be like, where are my book moments? Where are my foreshadowing? Where are my, you know, where are the moments I hate? Like, you know, Swan's headpieces in this episode. Like,
Oh, I thought she looked incredibly sharp.
I don't like that headpiece. It looks
And
like
I'm
it looks like
I'm
an
not
actual
a
swan
high
nested on her
fashion-
head.
I'm not a high fashion person, and maybe it's Sophie, right? Like maybe it's the actor, because she's incredible. Like she has the presence and bearing to pull it off.
Wear a burlap sack and look like that.
Absolutely.
We'll play that in a minute. Do we want to watch Kate?
But what about the daggers that she formed in a head?
Yeah, that's badass.
That was badass.
Like they can go through your eyeball, like for sure, right? Okay.
I was down for that. So I haven't got the sound on, so we can just. Do you want to listen with the sound? Put the sound on so we can actually listen.
She's basically, I'm so sorry I was gone for such a long time.
Yeah. How quick does she channel there, though? That's always very cool.
again, and I'll flay you alive and food you.
And you know she can do it.
Yes.
Mostly for my own entertainment.
I love Leia, like, I want to back when I saw the headpiece.
Also, dagger headpiece.
Yes.
I mean, because more stabbies.
Yes, more
Crown
stabbies.
swords.
Tell me, why do you work for him? For Shamaya.
Kate looks so scared right now. It's
You
amazing.
hate men.
Also, what weave did she use to pull his spirit from his body?
Just air.
Just air.
Just air, because he just pulled it out of his lungs.
Okay.
Yeah. She was just removing all the, like,
And you
stopping the
tried
air
to
going. It's like
air.
suffocated him. Yeah.
Men hurt.
And his name is Liandrin.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
That made me very happy that they did not turn Aludra into an old man.
Everyone broke down on Twitter about that. It was hilarious. I was like,
Supposed to be
seriously?
alive.
This is what? Yeah.
This is not life.
So the thing I got from this is they're following the book where the Dark Sisters, the Black Aja, re-swear oaths.
Mm-hmm.
So they do have
Right,
oaths
yeah.
that they're bound to because of the oath rod. So that's cool.
The last tie to the girl you used.
I do need the 3 O's stitched in a pillow, because we did have the conversation about what's the wording again?
Yeah.
Before she bled.
Oh, look at Kate's. Seriously, the acting
know.
here is phenomenal.
And that's why I'm here.
I can never forgive her for making me like Liandrin.
Only one woman can give to another.
But they're all doing it.
I know.
Liandrin,
I
Lanfear,
know.
Alana.
But I mean, the writing in this scene again, like, what's incredible exposition about her story and the dynamics between Lanfear and Shamael, and
You swore your oaths to the dark.
yeah,
not
just
to
these
Shamael.
moments. It's so
You
well
cannot
done.
take them back. It's impossible.
What they don't
This line.
show is there's a vendor
That.
in North Harbor that's mad because he bought a whole boat full of crimson thorn. That's how much they do lately.
I mean, this is the other thing, though. They're humanizing
Yes.
the dark friends. They're literally
They are.
every dark friend that we've met that's been
There's
substantial
a reason.
has a very valid, very relatable reason, from Dana
Mhm.
to Liandrin. We just it's okay, I have a question. I'm totally flipping topics.
Go for it. That's totally fine.
Do you
We like to jump
think-
around here, to be honest. So
Do you think Nynaeve is a dark friend?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, right?
I believe
I don't
that
think
Bartholomew
Barthanis
a
is. I
fop,
don't-
and that Anver is a dark friend. She literally did whatever it took for,
Yeah.
her, for her house and her family.
And this is my city. And yes, 100%. I think she is a dark friend, and that is going to be the point of contention with her and Moraine. Like, and one other small criticism that I have that I'm not sure why they did it is why they made Galdrian a queen.
I was wondering about that too.
Because he's not marrying Galdrian. He's marrying Galdrian's daughter, right? Or is he marrying Galdrian?
No, he's marrying the queen.
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's why he made okay. I misunderstood that. Okay, that's
so that so the Damagers could marry into the
because I was like they're making Galdrian a woman because I thought that he was marrying Galdrian's family member, not Galdrian. But he's okay, so that's why they made her him or her. Okay, that makes sense to me now. All right, I'm less critical at this point.
That's fair. I mean, obviously, if that's what they were doing, it would like made her a queen so that Barthanas could marry.
Right, and so Tom's not around to kill him.
Yeah.
So we might as well just have Barthanas marry her.
So,
Seline, who is still up, bless her, thinks it's a double switch. Anna thinks she's done the work, but Barthanas actually did it through being a dark friend. That's fun.
Seline.
So
I know.
and I heard somebody else give a fun little take. Like, what if it's double blind dark friends? They're both dark friends. They just don't know about each other yet.
That's fun.
You meet your mom at the dark friend social by accident. Like, Mom.
Mom, I can do this on my own. I'm a big grown dark friend now.
Chicken nuggies.
I almost feel like I need to go back and watch the cold open from episode 1 again to see if we see anybody in Kyrian and dress there.
You could. There's a chance.
I've got to say something. These don't feel like cold opens to me.
Well, that's what I mean. But they're not cold opens because there's no opening.
There's
montage.
no opening
There's
credits.
No opening
credits.
Yeah,
right. So it just feels like when people keep saying like, "Oh yeah, like the cold." That was a long cold open, or that was a long open.
Fine, Rob. When the opening scene, I need to go back to the very first scene of the very first episode of this season, or the last scene of the last episode of the first season, so I can tell if there's somebody that's wearing Kyrian and dress sitting.
Sometimes I get stuck on certain moments. I'm sorry, folks.
So I want to go back to the Moraine scene when she's writing the letters because this is interesting.
Okay.
Oh, stilled.
Well, just before we even get to anything,
she's not stilled though. She thinks she is, but she's not.
Really?
But here's what I think is interesting: is we have spent how many, like over a decade, understanding the old tongue. Now we're starting to see the written version of language in this land.
It's beautiful.
Is somebody going to go through and say, this is what this word is, and this?
I hope so. Pavara, where are you?
Yeah, where's Pavara?
Yeah, Pavara. We need
Pavara.
I feel like this is fan service for Pavara, basically. Which
yes,
basically, yes.
Yeah. Because it's like that; those letters, she's writing something, but it's not English. So, which I'm glad they did. I never thought about that.
Yeah, it's beautiful to watch.
Everyone
too.
can just read the old tongue, Yeah. So,
If Pavara had her way, everyone would.
This is true.
Yes.
I mean, I have the old tongue on my YouTube banner
right there.
because and I don't even know how the person I asked to do that did it. They literally just put "of the Blue Aja" in the old tongue, and I didn't know what it meant. And I sent it to Bafara, and she's like, "Oh, that just says of the Blue Aja." I'm like, "Oh,
amazing." So I'm going to pause it, and we're going to debate this for a second, okay?
Okay.
So it's a left to right language. That's the first thing you figure out. It's not.
Yes,
it's not
this
like
is true.
It's not an Arabic style right to left. It's left to right.
Yeah.
Or Asian style because they write.
They can write up and down.
Yes, this is true. Yeah. So she's writing, "I've been stilled." Now, if she has not been stilled and she's been shielded, the 3 oaths apply.
But if she believes it,
Yeah. So if she believes it, is my honest
and that's
opinion.
fair. Yeah, and I get that logic, and I totally understand anyone wants to follow.
but
that
she
logic.
did. But she did say that Rand just left for the night. So that's the first thing I've caught that I like. That could be a lot.
There we go. Yeah. And on top of that, we've had it
No,
explained
because
not in the
Rand
books,
left
but in
for
the show.
the night, but that doesn't mean that she didn't tell a lie because she told the truth. She doesn't need to come forth and forward divulge that he's also left for the next day.
True.
The truth and I said I tell you is not the truth.
Yeah.
Not always the truth you think you hear.
Thank you.
We've had it explained in the show that when you're shielded, you can still feel the source.
Yes.
She can't. And I don't know the benefit, because some people are like, well, no one's ever been shielded by a Forsaken before. And I don't understand the benefit of changing the lore of the books to say if you're shielded by a Forsaken because they did it different 3,000 years ago, you then can't feel the source. I don't understand the benefit of changing the lore for the story to do that.
Has she said she can't feel the source?
Well, because what if it's a situation of she's shielded by Sidene, so she can't feel the shield because it's a different side. There's no men that have.
I still don't understand that, because the shield creates a block between you and the power.
Yes, but that's in the books, right? That's in the books.
I still don't understand the lore of doing. I don't understand the benefit
I
of
still
changing
think
that
that there's something about the knot he tied that you saw him do, his hand motion at the end of season 1, combined with the fact that we saw the knots being tied by Suwan, combined with the fact that Rand is learning how to channel with Logain, and Logain is freaking gentled and he can still see weaves, apparently, because after this episode, he was able to see Rand channeling tonight.
He has a talent. That's been that.
Yes, but he should have lost that talent when he lost his connection to the one
talents
power.
are not connected to the power. Talents are not connected to the power. They often come with the power, but they're not connected to the power.
But I don't think, has she actually said she can't feel the source?
No. And that's the other thing. Land still has his warderisms. And if Moraine was cut off or stilled, he would have lost his warderisms. I think Suwan and Rand are going to work together to untie the knot that Ishi did. I think it's going to be Rand who actually does it through Suwan's guidance, and Moraine's going to be able to channel by the end of the season.
Really? Because I was kind of thinking that it's the bait and switch and she's stilled instead of Swan.
And that's possible. Yeah. I don't want to believe it.
I don't want to believe it either, but
it's possible because there's so much story with Nynaeve learning how to, because then that whole, the moment of when she channels and she heals Logain, and then she doesn't realize that she can't use the same way. And Suwan and Leanne's power is significantly diminished, whereas Dahmer Flynn, was able to fully restore the women when they were stilled. I feel like that's a huge moment that they're going to miss out on if she isn't shielded. I mean,
Darcy,
and that's
Darcy just had a comment, said that when she did it, she said she could still feel it out of reach. Yeah.
Did he say that?
Yeah. I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it.
Yeah, or did he say it to her?
You gotta come on with your stabby shirt.
Yeah,
I know.
You're wearing your stabby stab shirt.
Yes, I
am.
I'm wearing my Hinder's Tap bed and breakfast shirt.
I'm wearing my Malkiri Con shirt. That's what I'm wearing.
Nice.
Yay!
Yep, that's it.
Yay! So we're all repping Wheel of Time in one way, shape, or form.
Of course we are.
That's amazing.
And
I have a bag that I happened to win.
A very, very
amazing people at JordanCon. And I know Rob was a little salty when I happened to win that drawing.
I was very so the Lightswork gave that away. Trian gave it to Lightswork to give away.
Trian made it.
I was salty I didn't win that, but I do have the dragon box here.
Do you?
Yes.
Very nice.
This is just too nice. The best bit about this is, make sure I put it the right way up. Is on the bottom. Why is there a madman in my head?
My God, Rand's in a box.
Rand in a box. So, but it was too good not to keep some of my electronic stuff in. So
that's amazing. I have all of
that comes with me when I go to conventions and stuff.
I have all of my little stickers and memorabilia that in that tote. So yeah, I love it. And I have 2 Trian pieces, so I'm not sad. One bit.
Well, I don't have any, so I'm going to get us the conversation to change because I'm already.
Okay,
that's fine. I was about to say, before we move on to Egwene, which is a big part of this episode, and Maddie seriously just slayed the performance. Was there anything else? Do we want to talk about?
I think the
Rand at the beginning, or
I think the Logain scene would be interesting.
Yeah.
Because is that the first time we see stones?
I believe it might directly see stones. Yes. So we've already mentioned Swan and Lan, but here's again, I'll just play it without sound so we can just watch it, because then we can talk over it much easier. I love Sulan coming in. Have you guys talked about the lack of Aiel in this episode and Perrin too, I guess?
Yes, Sulin, but we had a lack of Matt and Min last episode, so it's only fair.
Yeah.
No, there were the Aiel in the scene. They were just hiding.
They were hiding. They were there in plain sight.
They're
You
hiding,
just had
yeah.
to look
Like,
for them.
come on.
Like right
Surely
there.
you
Like
saw them.
totally. Like,
There's
don't you
17
see them?
Aiel are in that picture.
Look, there's one there in a blue coat.
Although
so-
47 Aiel.
no
in that
Aiel would be
picture.
caught dead in Kyrian. So
This is true, yeah. Not until they'd sacked it multiple
Yes.
times. But yeah, any scene with Althea Morte is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
He's
He-
amazing.
Yeah.
And playing off of his ego is so interesting.
Hmm.
and I mean, he's the only thing that's going to keep me satisfied if it means that I don't get an emo Asmo. So
Facts. Facts.
Yeah. It's yeah, these two, I don't know. Like, so he's great when he's with more, the scene in the previous episode where it was him and Moraine, when he's been interacting with the other Aes Sedai.
Mhm.
Again, great. There's something about these two guys on screen together. They have a dynamic between, they're both giving off dragon vibes, they're both giving off crazy vibes, they're both giving off like, it's they're good mirrors for each other and they amplify each other as a result. It's pretty incredible.
This did throw me a little bit though when he said embrace the source. I was like,
I did
men
too.
don't embrace
Oh.
the source.
Yeah.
Yes,
that was
he's
like the-
you.
First
You see
thing.
Kyrian, you don't embrace the source.
Exactly. I was like, you don't embrace the source. You don't surrender.
Yeah.
Men don't surrender to it. Men freaking wrangle it. Men
Yeah,
control
but he
it.
says that you
Central.
surrender, and then so it feels a bit more equal. Maybe they're changing it a little bit here to make it a bit more equal. You don't have
Yeah.
to.
I mean, and
'Cause-
from a show point, it makes sense. I get it. But from a book standpoint, it was one of those things that took me out of the experience for just a minute. It was like my book brain had to like take a back seat to the show brain.
Yeah, I did the same thing.
And
I
all
think
the
I think when I watched, I was like, so men surrender to. Oh no, wait, now he's wrangling.
they
Yeah,
don't.
okay, so I was just like, maybe it works multiple ways.
Right.
and all the taint on his weave.
All the taint.
All the
taint.
Give me the
baby.
taint.
All the time.
All the
Look at
taint.
that.
And look
at
how
that taint.
look, he's like, I can channel and you can't, bitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is
Like-
going back to when he saw Nynaeve. So this is a
Yeah, and that makes
Going
more
back to
sense
what
why he
was-
could see Nynaeve, yeah. And Rand, this is almost like a Choden Call almost moment in a way, right? Like we didn't see the Choden Call this season so far, but this using the power to the extent where he can almost burn himself out.
Is
Yeah.
that the first time we hear about someone burning themselves out?
No,
yeah, they did it with in the last one.
For men,
Oh, right.
I know they talked about it for women.
Yeah.
yeah, for women they've talked
Right,
about
okay.
it.
I'm
But-
not remembering that.
But I find it interesting that Moraine specifically told him that he would be like a candle in front of the blazing sun of this.
That is the dragon
And now
reborn.
they delivered this scene.
Yeah,
I was like,
yeah.
"It's so well done that he was so bright because you couldn't even see him at the end of his.
Oh yeah, this brightens up. He just it
Yeah.
becomes wild.
So
And then he vomits all over the floor. So yeah, I mean, it's
Lots of
Yeah,
them.
which
two
is
vomit scenes in one episode. That was
Yeah.
amazing for my sensitive stomach and my reflex like sympathy vomiting that I deal with. That wasn't ready for it.
That's fair. I mean, like he does, and it's the effect of the taint, isn't it? Like that much power, that much taint flowing through him.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just,
And it makes sense. It makes sense. It's canonical. Oh,
sorry, sorry, Beth. But yeah, look at his eyes and the way they're looking at each other. Like now, Logain looks very sympathetic for what he's going through, but he's also like, dude, you need to like,
he's also a little jealous.
Of
I
course.
was
Yeah.
just gonna say he's absolutely the guy who's jealous of that kid's shiny toy. I used to have that toy. I don't have that toy.
Mm-hmm.
Rand picks the right angle with the whole, you'll at least have proximity to the dragon and the proximity to importance.
Your legacy.
But also the other thing that I was going to say is that Rand is more powerful than Logain. So Logain saying, careful you don't burn yourself out. He's not even leveled up yet. They don't even know.
Correct.
Sort of making a
much he
great
can
point
hold.
here. Logain's not afraid. He's with a man who can't control his channeling, and
That's
Logain's
a
just
good
like,
point.
he's not chilled, but he's taken it in his stride very easily.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, for sure.
He has nothing left to live for. I think that he is a man with nothing left to lose. I feel like he's been that way since he was forced to kneel in front of Swan.
But
Yeah.
this also makes it interesting if they develop this relationship because of later on with the Black Tower that Logain was the one he could trust.
That's a good point.
Is this going to be the basis, the foundation for Logain's the first one he takes to the tower?
That's a good point.
Instead of Taim?
Yeah.
Because Taim's been mentioned.
No, I think Taim's going to be the person who leads the white, because Logain's still not going to be.
So Taim hasn't been mentioned by name, but Taim is.
Yeah, he has been mentioned by name.
Yes.
He has been mentioned by name.
Yeah.
They mentioned his name.
Where?
In episode
Cite your source.
3 or 4.
Wow.
I think it was episode 4, and I'm sure it was Liandrin who said it, wasn't it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we're still going to get the storyline of Logain's gentling being healed.
Yes.
So I think Taim is going to be the person who is the leader of the White Tower by de facto because of he can channel currently. But I think this is going to be like a trust thing where instead of Egwene sending Logain, like freeing him and kind of like sending him on his way, I think it's going to be Rand who's like, I need you to be my inside guy.
Yeah.
Yes.
I just meant that I think Logain goes to the tower before Taim.
Well,
Taim shows up later.
No.
No.
Taim's the leader because Logain is in Saladar when Taim is the leader.
And then Logain shows up later?
Logain shows up and he ends up like he's instantly made to a full Ashaman, and he kind of gets like he rallies the folks from the Two Rivers
that's how the factions happen.
And that's how the factions happen.
But Asmo was sent there a few times as well, so that would tie into that. You know, if
Asmodean was sent to the
just a few times. He brought. I remember Rand bringing Asmodean with him to the tower, and him using Asmodean to judge how strong.
No, no. I don't think so. I don't think Asmodean ever went because he died in Fires of Heaven.
What?
Spoilers.
Sorry,
I will look and find my source, and
the Black Tower really wasn't a thing until Fires of Heaven, and Taim is the person who taught Rand how to gauge whether a person could channel.
So was it Taim that he took with him?
Yeah. No, Taim was there. He sent Taim
was there.
there.
So who did Rand? But do you remember the scenes that I'm talking about?
He takes Taim.
He takes oh my god.
It's Taim.
He keeps Taim there. It's the person who went Osengar, who was
not Davrin Bashir. Dav
Narishma?
No,
that's how he got
Narishma. Chat, help us out here. Davlon something, I think. Anyway.
Oh my god, it's Osengar.
Anyway.
It's Osengar. Anyway, he ends up being killed in Winter's Heart by Balefire.
Yes.
No, not Corlin Dashiva. Thank you.
Yes, Dashiva.
Dashiva is really an Asham. He's an Ashaman who they just think is a dark friend. They don't know he ends up being one of the Forsaken, and then he gets killed by Elza Penfell at the cleansing of Sidene.
Yeah.
So sorry, chat. Sorry, Beth. I was way off base. I'm sorry.
I think so. I think that's. I think. Anyway, sorry.
But yeah, let's talk. Actually, before we go into this, folks, let me find it.
Trigger warning. You should probably put a trigger warning up there. Seriously.
Yeah. There's so many triggers.
Mm-hmm. What was it? So I want to thank Benny Chiad.
Of course you
posted out like a quick few trauma trips, folks, or first aid tips. She's put out there like, take breaks, don't over process what you're watching, because this is
heavy stuff.
Pretty heavy stuff. Let me change the banner. So yeah, if you don't feel up to watching this next part, because we're going to spend a lot of time talking about Egwene, I totally understand that, folks. We're not going to play it continuously. We're going to turn the sound off for most of it, to be honest. I think that's pretty sensible. But this is like, take breaks. Don't watch if you're not up to it. Maddie plays this pretty raw. There's a lot of heavy stuff.
I'm going to cry just thinking about watching this again. Like,
that's fair.
Before we get into like the actual Egwene side of it, is it what's the actor's name that plays Rena? Is it
Zelia.
Zelia?
Brilliant.
Did we know, because everybody was wondering who they were going to be? Did we know before this that they were going to be Rena?
I'm not sure actually.
Because everybody was questioning who they were going to be. And then when we saw that, I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. And they do an amazing job.
Because we can't talk about how incredible Maddie was without talking about how incredible Zelia was.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Pour the water. Can
Yeah.
I go refill my mommy juice, please? I need therapy before we go into
Yes, absolutely. So
Okay.
let me just
I'm
put
just
that up there,
gonna
folks.
stop my camera for a minute. I'll be right back.
Yeah. So as Ben and Cheetah put out, like as you're watching this, folks, if you need to obviously step away, don't watch. That's fine. Make sure you're looking after yourself. Eat, drink. Take those breaks if you need to. Feel physically safe while you're watching. So if that means you need pillows, blankets, hug a pet, have a loved one with you while you're watching, that's fine. Know that anything you're feeling is normal and okay. And like I said previously, don't over process it. Make sure you take breaks. It's very important, folks, because it is pretty. These scenes are pretty hard. So, but I want to start off by saying, Maddie, and you just said the actress name, but Zelia, amazing, the two of them.
I believe that's how they pronounce it. I believe that's how it's pronounced.
Because they've been in a bunch of shots with the crew or the cast, like at different parties and stuff, and everybody's been wondering if they were going to be Gilad or, everybody was kind of wondering who they were going to be.
I remember hearing about the casting, but not hearing about a role. But I haven't been following casting as closely over the last few months.
Yeah, I haven't done that either. So,
this is like Rafe said this was his favorite combination of duos in a scene. So there's a reason. Yeah,
it's pretty wild. So this is obviously just post stream, this bit, which I brought up first because. This is for me, and we are full spoilers as well, folks. This is pretty incredible. Not only did we have the moment later on where Maiden. Thank you, Hide. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. What was I just saying? Oh, the moment here with the dreaming, where Rand is, Lanfear's brought him here, and that. Such great foreshadowing. The Egwene's dreaming abilities. I don't know if you caught that.
So I did make a comment about that, how Rand came to her in dream first.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder, who's the first person? I don't remember who the first person was she visited dreaming.
Oh, I don't remember that either, actually. Chad, if you know who was the first person in the book she visited while dreaming, that would be interesting if you could tell us that. But yeah, this one's one of those real under the radar moments. If you haven't read the books, you're not going to pick up on. But it's one of those rewatchable, or for book fans, obviously rereadable moments where you're like, oh, how did I not see that? Like when she registered that they were there in the dream and was like, most.
So do you think she could see Lanfear because she didn't interact or look at the space that Lanfear was in?
Yeah.
So I believe she only saw Rand.
That's very possible. It says to me that obviously she was in the dream world, and then Rand and that pop up. So yeah, maybe Lanfear's hiding herself from them. But yeah,
how sad is it that's the dream she has while she's there?
Yeah.
And that's all the dream she can have is just laying in this cell.
Yeah, I agree.
That's bad.
So Beth, we just mentioned how at the beginning of this, where Rand turns up on Lanfear, it's amazing foreshadowing for her dreaming abilities.
Yes.
Which is just pretty crazy.
And this is the catechism part that Jessica was talking about.
Yep. It was just so, it's established in the show that she's got steel underneath, as
Loial
says.
Yeah.
And she's unbreakable per Nynaeve. I mean, all of that's well deserved, but it was brutal to watch this.
It was. I thought I had issues in episode 5 of season 1 when the White Cloaks had her and they, scrubbed her body, and I was like, that was a lot to take in. But, and you know, when you read, and we're of course full book spoilers, right? So
Yes, yeah.
when you read The Great Hunt, you know, or you reread it, because you probably don't pick up on stuff like this the first few times you read it, but when you've read it as many times as some of us have, she's in Shan-Chan captivity for months, for 4 months at least, when all this happens. And this breaking down of her will, this gradual deterioration of her hope, you get it in the books, kind of, but to see it brought to life was so powerful and heartbreaking. Like, you just, I can't even imagine the headspace that the cast and the crew had to be to act those out. And the actress who plays Rena, to be able to deliver her line, like just her delivery of like, I'm doing it for your own good, and how convincing she is of it.
Just as a refresher, I don't know if you're on screen.
Thank you so much. I did not know that. Okay,
yes.
thank you. So
it's just been,
thank you so much. I didn't know that. I'm so Zelia's ability to convey that this is just the way things are.
Yeah,
and
they think it's right.
Oh my God.
I would also say that even reading, so it was, to your point, Beth, it was horrific to read through it. It was a different experience to see it pictured visually. But there's a little bit of exposition that goes in there, and it may have been there in canon, and I just didn't pick up on it because I've read the first 6 so many times. But I don't remember it. That doesn't mean it's not there. I just don't remember it. The way in which Zelia describes the use of a demone, right? Like, just this is
the affinity,
not the dehumanizing part. That much comes across clear, but there was a little bit in there, a little expo in there about how Shan-Chan use women who can channel properly because it uses them to their fullest. You know what I mean?
Capacity.
Like, they're a resource, and they are using them better than the White Tower does.
Correct.
And also making reference and comparison to how a novice is treated, which I would not expect a Shan-Chan to have insight to.
Right.
Yeah, agreed.
I think the thing that conveyed that was the ecstasy that you see on their face when they're channeling together. And because if you remember when Egwene is first captured and Rena has her collared, and the whole tree thing is like, you see the tree in the distance, I want you to destroy the tree. And Egwene pretends that she can't do it. She's like, I'm not going to destroy a tree. And Rena's delivery is, oh, you silly girl, I can tell when you do or you don't embrace the source. So I know you didn't even try. So she's punished. So the way that the show did it is so much more impactful because Egwene had a love for that tree, right?
Yeah,
like it was her solace. But
she even said that, I know what you feel about that tree.
She was finally able to embrace the source, and you saw the look of appreciation that Egwene was allowed
channeling.
Yep.
Only to have it destroy something that's meaningful.
Exactly. And Rena's disappointment and disgust in Egwene when she said, pour me some water.
Yeah.
And Egwene still couldn't touch it. And that's when Rena got physical, when she was physically hurting her. And that's when you saw her anger, right? Like, that's the only time you ever saw her. Ooh, Seline, I didn't even think about that.
So with this, I just saw that and I was like, oh my God, like how they were reflecting things in the first season and now they're doing it within episodes as well as, so.
I mean, just the is dichotomy the right word I want to use? Between Rena and Egwene is so excellent, and they both played their roles perfectly. It just absolutely perfectly.
Rafe said this was his favorite duo.
Yeah, I remember that in the Twitter
AMA
question AMA thing that he did.
Yeah,
but also there was a couple of points. There was at least one comment made by Rena about that's what we're supposed to do. There were just a couple of comments that Rena made offhand that were kind of Easter eggs to me about her status and her ability to potentially channel and be collared in the future.
Hopefully. Bitch deserves it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not a fan of Rena right now.
I know, but
wait, anyone's ever a fan of Rena?
Yeah.
I'm a fan of the actress
I did have
they're portraying it amazingly, but
yeah, I did have sympathy in the end when the hook is on the collar, the collar's on the hook. I will say also the ritualistic nature of the leash goes on.
Yes, it was
the
very
bracer
ritual.
goes on. It's very clear that there's ritual attached to it from the Soul Dom side.
Yeah. She does it the same way every time. Yeah.
And how do we feel about the removal of a physical leash and it being like a power?
Well,
leash,
it's canonical.
Yeah.
It's canonical.
The leash,
yeah.
the leash would have just made it weird and pet-like. And
I mean, and that is still conveyed. Right, exactly. When she caressed her head as she left her that first night, that was the, you're not, and she says, you're not a woman. You're a demon.
When she said good girl at the end, I growled.
Oh, yes. Oh, that killed me.
Yeah,
it killed me. I have a slightly off-topic question just on what you guys think. The Damane who is wearing the pacifier, I don't know what else to call it.
Yeah.
She's the redheaded strawberry blonde Damane. We've seen her now in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
Do you think she's going to be relevant? Do you think, or is she just kind of like the figurehead for what the Damane are?
I think that she's the most visually stunning because she looks so young.
Yeah.
I think that is by design, but my favorite wacky theory, and it is not my own, I heard it from
Olivia.
Olivia. I would absolutely freaking love it if she is Olivia.
Oh my God, me too. I would be here for it.
To have her introduced in season 2, but fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just wondering if you guys thought, because, she's shown up now in what? 3 or 4 episodes?
I think that she just looks so young.
Yeah.
And that,
I think the impact of what looks to be like a 14-year-old girl, be so efficient and so trusted,
and so clinical.
So clinical.
And from a TV show point of view, if I don't have to introduce another person, I can just do this with the same character.
Yeah.
It's more efficient. It's more streamlined.
Yeah.
Otherwise, now I have to have 3.
Fudgy's made a good point. Actually, it shows up, how like the caster list down the side, if you pause it. Miri, the money's name is Miri.
Okay.
So
and
not changing. Okay, and that makes sense. I was just wondering if maybe she was going to have some kind of more tangible type of role.
I mean, maybe
this
is
such a focal point.
Yeah.
I like Fudgy's follow-up to that. If Olivia was her birth name.
Could be.
Oh, she gets freed and then's like, no, call me
Olivia.
That was
That would be amazing.
Yes.
So I just had somebody was saying something in one of the chats, and it just made me think of, they were comparing Egwene and Nynaeve. It's like, imagine the Flicker world where Nynaeve was one that was captured and made a Saldam instead of Egwene. Could you picture that world? Because of the amount of damage they could do with her.
I wonder how they would overcome her block.
Would a block even work there?
I think that their power structure is set up. Well, I shouldn't say their power structure, right? It's the same power structure. It's that their weaves lean towards destructive versus creative or healing.
I guess and Nynaeve would be mad all the time because she was collared, so
Yeah.
she'd be able to
Yeah.
channel whenever.
Yeah.
Yeah, she really probably wouldn't
And
have a
so,
lot.
I mean, what would that make her? Semirog? Like, she just
No, because Lanfear is clearly Semirog. Because yes, let's go. Leia, are you gonna cosplay Lanfear? Because
I mean,
I wasn't planning on going to JordanCon this year, but if you're gonna cosplay Lanfear, I might need to
It
fork up
feels
some
very.
fundage.
It's a dramatic outfit. I'll pull up on screen. It is a dramatic outfit.
And
It
that
is.
throne is so awesome.
But
so
it is,
in my
the throne is
defense, I
amazing.
just
Yeah, I
want to
agree with that.
say that is still a sex wheel. Like I still
It is
feel
totally a sex wheel. That's
Yeah,
what
it
I
is, yeah.
call
still a
it.
sex wheel to me.
It's a total BDSM sex wheel, and
That
she's
is
living her
foreplay.
best life as a dom, and she wants him to be her bottom. That's all I'm
That
gonna
was
say.
foreplay for her.
Right. Steve in chat is telling me that Miri is actually in the companion. So
What?
1 second.
Hold up, please. Hold, please.
Hold while I move my lamp. And thank
Hi,
you very much.
everybody.
These are made by Nils. Some
Ooh.
art that Tree did into a lamp, and then obviously he redid our sign with our new artwork this year. So now I have 2 of these. I don't have there. See, look, the artwork for this year's
Wow.
convention.
As
Yeah,
we're all grabbing our companions.
yes,
we're
as
such
we're grabbing
nerds.
it.
Hey,
Well, I
guys,
had to do that
I'm a
because it
nerd.
sits with my
I
companion.
win.
Are you?
I win. A dramatic
You were there
reading.
first. Oh,
Yes.
Okay.
Go
Right.
for it.
A tall, pale-haired Damani killed during Semirog's attempted capture of Rand. Tanera, the Suldam with whom she was paired, was killed as well. So that's Rand in a box, right?
That was
No,
that's
that's
when
Rand-
that's when
Rand losing his
Semirog
arm.
was when he loses his hand when he tried when
that's
she
much
uses
later.
the Dominion band on him.
Yeah,
With-
Yes.
Nope.
Yeah. That's when he balefires Semirog and Elzapen fell.
That throne,
Yeah.
though. come
This thing right here, I am here for it all day
The
long.
throne is epic. The whole outfit, I get it. It's very dramatic. I don't.
You don't like the
I'm-
headdress, do you?
on. The headdress is weird.
I'm not sure if I like the entire combination of the outfit. I feel like it's maybe too much.
It's supposed to be.
No. I get she's trying to be like, okay, so this is really me. This is who I am. But this felt like too much for that.
Oh my god,
She
I was
didn't
here
need to
for it.
have. I don't know. I don't feel like she needed the full dominatrix outfit. to
Dude, bring
be-
it all
So
day.
this
Bring it.
was so what
Natasha
did I
doesn't
say?
need this. Is
This
what I'm
reminds
thinking.
me of Zod from Superman.
Yeah.
Zod's lieutenant
Yeah.
in Superman.
It was
Yeah,
played by
it does.
Sarah, what's her name? I can't remember her full name, but
Sure.
she's
We're gonna go
amazing. Yes, she was
No,
great.
but it
But no,
just-
honestly, I'm here for it. I want to know how long it took them to dress her in this. I want to know. I mean, because, and of course, thank you for eye candy for those of us who like boys. Although I feel really weird because he's probably like young enough to be my child. But hello, eye candy. And also eye candy. Like, oh, hello. Like, what the heck, man?
I believe some people call it the bisexual nightmare.
And
Yes.
that's entirely true, probably.
Mhm.
I'm okay with that. I'm totally fine. With or without headdress.
I think Natasha could have pulled this off without headdress. I love the
Can you
the
can you
outfit
zoom in at all?
shows. Sorry, no, I
Can you
can't
zoom
zoom
in?
on this.
You
Sadly. No.
Oh my gosh, what Zach just said in chat.
Zach just said. Lanfear cosplay as Maleficent. Yeah, there we go. But I think I don't think Natasha needs the headpiece to pull this off. But there is something I absolutely adore about this outfit, and it is the sleeves and the shoulders. So as we look at the screen, on the left side, she has a big puffy shoulder, and the sleeve goes all the way down to her wrist. And on the right side, as we look at it, there's nothing on the shoulder, nothing on the arms except some wrist, some bracer type thing. That really speaks to me of the dual nature of Lanfear as a character.
Right.
Yeah.
They're playing both sides,
And that's
the
probably why
light
they
and
did
the
it.
dark. And that is probably why they did it. And I think that is an incredible touch. I'm fine with the rest of the outfit. I'm fine with the boots. I just don't think she needed the headpiece. Sounds like I'm on a thing for headpieces at the moment.
Do you know what the headpiece kind of reminds me of? It's going to be weird because it's a stretch.
Right.
But have you ever seen when drag queens wear paper lashes, like fake lashes. They're really over the top fake lashes.
Like 10 inches long type thing.
Yes,
dropping off
and
their face.
and they prove a point, and they look fabulous
So
in
it's
their
for the
whole
fanfare.
Yes, exactly. I feel that's what it
Yeah.
is. It's her crown. It is her, like, I feel like it's the same material as those paper lashes that drag queens would wear. That's just my take, but anyway, but I'm here for it. I love every bit of it. I mean, look at her swagger. Just look at the, I mean.
So that's what I was going to say. Regardless of what they put her in, her delivery, she needed a spare wheelbarrow for her confidence. Like, just look at her. She's nailing it.
I'm just trying to figure out what the pattern is on the headpiece. It looks almost like geometric.
It's paper
I was
mache.
going to try and pause it there before. It's paper mache.
It's your grandmother's doily painted black.
Yeah, it's your grandmother's doily painted black. This is so true. You know?
I mean, for anybody who, and this, we're going after dark, right? For anybody who has BDSM tendencies, if you are a sub, you are in heaven right now. That's all I have to say. Like, so you are totally in heaven right now, living your best life, wishing to be Lanfear's bottom. That's.
Well, what I'm saying is the headpiece is gonna get in the way of.
She can remove it. It's in a dream. She can just imagine it and whisk it away. She could turn it into some lovely paper mache handcuffs. I mean, she could do whatever the heck she wants. I mean,
she would have him remove it for her.
I love it.
Let's turn this ship right around and head
sorry. Let's go back to trauma and Egwene.
Yeah. I mean, not really, but like, let's stay above board, people.
Yeah,
we're after dark. We can talk about these topics.
Aren't we always after dark perpetually?
Yes, true.
The red and gold on the outfit, you like that? That was one of the things you really liked.
On Rima's outfit, yes.
The red and gold.
Oh yeah, the red and the gold. Yeah, that is, and you can see it very clearly there. It's great. But sorry, let's just hop.
There's the rings.
A bit ahead.
Mm-hmm. It's weird to see a gray. Like, what is the gray jewel?
Yeah.
So I have one thing that I do want to say that I think they did very effectively with the show. If you remember in the books, Egwene felt the pain, but there was no physical sign of the pain. Like when she would strike, when she tried to slap Renna or punch Renna immediately after she was collared, she felt it. But there was no, and then like when Renna inflicted pain on her and she felt like the pinpricks all over her body, there was no sign of it. So the fact that they actually showed the fact that there was physical trauma really conveyed the message really well. I do love it. In her eyes, when her blood vessels in her eyes started, I lost it. I can watch a lot of shit. I can watch a lot of stuff. I have never been in a situation where I have ever had any kind of that trauma inflicted on me. This was hard for me to watch. This was very difficult. And that is they conveyed it perfectly. Did they put a trigger warning in the beginning of this episode?
They did not put a trigger warning in this episode. No.
That's the one thing that I wish they probably would have done, because it was very, very, very graphic. Seline, have a great night. You're amazing. I love you, friend.
Good night, Seline. Thank you. And welcome Lottie, who's coming late from having to work.
Hi, Lottie.
The thing that really caught me was when she first reacted to the weapon and it like twisted her hand.
And that was like so from the books. It was so from the books. It was amazing. It was great.
And the vibration on the collar.
Yeah.
That CGI was very good, but the twisting of the hand and just being malformed, I'm like, oh, that guy.
Yeah, Maddie's physical acting is extremely impressive.
Mm-hmm. But it was hard to watch. It was hard to stomach. And seeing what you have kind of skirted around, picturing in your head.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the one thing that I wish they would have done a little differently was not to make it look like a cell, to make it look more comfortable, because then it would have been a greater disparity between the life you live and the fact, because when she was in the books, she had a bed and she had a small
Yeah.
closet.
Yeah, I
and-
think her cell in the kennels is bigger than her room
Right.
as a novice.
So I wish they would have made it seem like she had some more humane fashionings. That would have been even more of a disparity between the trauma that she's going through, because being in a barren cell is like you're a prisoner.
Yeah,
To
but
give her a bed and give her some
But
basic qualities would have
think-
made it more drastic, I think.
I think that empty room, you give Maddie room to act, and there's
That's
nothing
true.
to take away from what she's doing. She has that whole volume,
That fucking good girl.
This-
the
Yeah.
volume to just do
Oh,
whatever.
yeah.
This
she wants to do.
poor girl. I mean, like,
Well,
and then
actually,
when
like,
Rand comes to her in a dream,
The
and
betrayal
then-
to herself here when she's pouring
This
water.
moment.
oh yeah, oh my god, no, I can't watch it. I can't watch.
So this is where Hope dies.
I can't
Yeah.
watch it. I just can't.
and like, you just Zelia, they're just doing such a great job here.
Mhm.
And then when she leaves, she just gulps the
Yeah.
water because she's just so desperate. I can't. I just nope.
So, but I was actually really proud of that moment, that she gulped the water, just because that's that self-preservation.
She
like,
wants to live. She's
I
a
lost
fighter.
this battle,
Yep.
but I need to be able, like, tomorrow is another day.
Oh my god, y'all. Jeez.
But she did Rena hang up the
Yep.
the
Bracer.
bracer at the end of that?
I don't
She
think she
stepped
took
over
it
and hit it?
off. I think
I
she
think
No,
she
I
just
don't think
left.
she took, no.
Which I think is good.
I think Renna
mean,
just went straight out with it. So
Yeah, because you need to just give that scene the moment. it
Oh
needs.
my goodness gracious.
Taking the time to take it off and doing the
Sorry.
ritual, you don't need it.
that's okay, Beth.
Oh man.
Marisa makes a great
Good
point.
point.
Like and then I have a point about the barren cell that I want to make. The pouring the water feels more graphic than actual violence. Like when Renna beats Egwene earlier in the episode,
Yes.
that was horrific, and horrible to see. But to the casual demonstration of I own you,
Yeah.
of pouring that water out, because she kept saying, Renna kept saying, like, I'm thirsty, pour me water, and then
And this
like,
is your whole world. And
this
you
is your-
finally
yeah.
managed to pour this cup, and I'm just
Yeah.
going to dump it out because your
Yeah.
world means nothing.
Yeah.
You
absolutely,
mean
yeah.
nothing.
And do you remember in the books when Egwene explained that to Min? When she explained that, like
Oh,
she said,
yeah.
I had pictured this picture as a weapon.
And it took.
And she couldn't
And
drink
it took
for
me a
3
week.
days.
3 days.
It took a
week.
week
Yeah.
because
we were talking
like
about
and Renna worked her extra hard so she wasn't able to bathe, so she stank, so she was miserable, and it wasn't until she convinced herself in her mind that the
That she would
picture was
never use
not a
this weapon.
weapon, that she was able to touch the picture. And the fact that they took that and they brought it to life was brilliant. And
Yeah.
so to any book cloaks that might be coming out here and watching or criticizing, screw you,
Yeah.
because this is the book brought to freaking life. And it, like, if you can't take a non-direct a print to screen adaptation, screw you. We don't
Yeah.
need you. And this was everything. This was the trauma that Egwene felt in the books, magnified by 100.
Yeah.
And I'm here for it. I don't know that I will rewatch this episode. Like, it's uncomfortable. Like,
Yeah.
episode 5 in season 1 was uncomfortable for me. This is like uncomfortable times 10, right?
And I think
It's
that
supposed
I
to
think
be.
that it should be. Yes.
It
I
should be
think that it
absolutely
should be.
100%. It conveyed its message, but I don't think, like, in my rewatches, this is probably one. At first, when Uno was unalived, I was like, I don't think I'm
Unalived.
ever. Well, it's a TikTok thing, right? Like, they say unalived on TikTok. We can't say the other word, right? So then, sorry for my social media, like,
That's okay.
eccentricities. But I was like, I'm probably gonna fast forward to that scene again because I didn't like to see it, right? This is that. I will probably fast forward through these scenes because they're that uncomfortable to me. And I just, it was brilliant. It was really great. It was almost like, did you ever watch the movie The Talented Mr. Ripley with Matt Damon and Gwyneth
I watched a
Paltrow?
little bit of it once. It's on my list of things to rewatch because it just got put on UK Netflix.
Okay, so it's one of those movies that's brilliant and excellently done, but I've only ever been able to watch it once because of the way it made me feel when I was done with it.
That's 7 for me. I don't know.
Yes, exactly. That's another one. Yes,
Really done, but I don't need to see it again.
Exactly, and that's what that's how the Egwene portions of this episode felt to me, and that is a like, how can I explain it? That's a testament to the writing, to the directing, to the acting of how effective everything was. And so.
This episode, a quick thing about the cell being barren. I think that was deliberately done because then when Egwene starts to be a good Damane, gets rewarded with a better space.
Oh, okay.
And
okay, that would make
a point too, and I forgot. So
that would make sense. Like, I didn't think ahead. I was too much
that
in
was
the moment,
that was where
right?
initially I was like, oh, no bed, but that was where my.
So again, it's all part of the dehumanizing part.
Dehumanization.
Like, take your name away from you. You don't have simple pleasures.
Girl.
You don't have simple.
You're
comforts.
a good girl.
You know. It struck me, and this might be something that I need to ask Dr. Livingston, but I wonder if there's anything to this for Jordan with the whole Damane and things like that, if there's a connection to the POWs from Vietnam.
Probably.
I mean,
that's very possible. Yeah.
That might be a question I ask him and maybe a walk-on.
It's very detailed, you know.
Yeah. It had to affect Jordan because he was there, and there was probably stories about.
I remember reading a post in his blog that he was writing before he passed, and was still able to write in the blog. And he literally describes it as if he's seeing someone who glorified and performing terrible acts during Vietnam, and he ended up killing said person before he came back. But you can very clearly tell through reading it that it is. A part of himself that he wanted to kill before he came back.
It changes here.
It does change. Yeah. But yeah, I like Beth said, I want to, I think it's, I don't want to dive too much into the trauma stuff. I know it's been heavy for everyone. I think it might be a nice time to finish off the stream. It's getting late for me anyway.
That means I can edit my video for an hour or so before.
There we go.
It takes me 4 hours to edit a video.
Yeah, that's fair. But I want to. So, like you say, the acting in this episode is just brilliant. But particularly between Maddie and I'm going to get the name wrong, but Zelia.
Zelia.
Okay. The
what
acting
nationality is Zelia? Do we know?
I actually don't know.
I want to say Zelia is a Hispanic or a Portuguese name.
It seems Latino.
But yeah, the acting was phenomenal to deliver. The level of emotion they both did was just incredible. Obviously the direction. I want to point out this was the only episode written by Rami Park, who previously owned The Origins from season 1.
Yeah, I did know.
Yeah, so this episode was written by Rami Park. The only episode they've done for the entire season. Wow, what an episode to be given, but also what a way to deliver it. Because like writing an episode doesn't just mean like here's the dialogue, make it up in between. Like Rami's had to write all the bits in between. Obviously not solely, but majority. So kudos to Rami for that as well. It's just an incredible episode. I did ask at the beginning if people thought this was the best episode so far of the season, and I've left that poll running the whole time. And it is overwhelmingly yes, 67 to 33%.
100% agree.
I'm in the same boat with Beth. It would be a really hard episode for me to rewatch, but it was incredibly well done. And again, all of the discomfort I feel is well deserved, and makes it seem like the material is treated more responsibly.
Yeah.
So I have one parting question for you guys.
Okay, bring it on.
I am of the mindset that pretty much every episode has gotten better as the season has progressed.
I agree.
And that every episode, I thought episode 1 was pretty much on par with season 1. But after that, I feel like season 2 has been leaps and bounds
Mm-hmm.
better than season 1. A, because of the extra time they're giving, like the extra 5 to 7 minutes an episode, the writing, the special effects, everything. It's just coming together brilliantly. So do you think they're going to be able to keep this trajectory going for these last 2 episodes, where I am cautiously optimistic? Because I remember in 21, like episode 7 was so great. I was like, oh my God, this is so good. This is like 3 to 7 was just like every week, just better and better and better. And then 8 happened. And I was like, oh.
But
like they're setting such a
8
high bar right now, right?
Right. Between 7 and 8 is where the fit hit the shan.
Yes, it did. Absolutely. 100% the fit hit the shan. I love that. I love it.
So we know.
But do you think,
never heard that before? Fit hit the shan.
she's
I've
avoiding
never heard you say that.
avoiding cursing on your stream, Rob? Say thank you, Rob. Say thank you. But
Thank you, Rob.
So do you think they're setting a bar that's so high? Like, should we have reasonable expectations that it's not going to hit quite as good? Like,
when you have good writing, and you have a chance to connect it all and to build it to the next, that's how it's supposed to go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
You know,
I just
this
don't
is how
want to.
it
I
should
just
be.
don't want to be heartbroken, because I mean, heartbroken in a good way. Like, if the story drives me to be heartbroken, then yes. But I felt like I'm so excited about what's happening now in this season. Like, I remember watching some of the bigger people who were more cynical about the show, like Daniel Green and Nameless. They were like, it's got to hit. It's got to be solid. And I feel like it's been more than solid. It's been
Absolutely.
exemplary in a lot of ways. And I have such high expectations now of 7 and 8. I just don't want to be disappointed, right? And
I feel as though they made it well. This is just my opinion. I don't disagree with you, right? Like,
how dare you have an opinion?
Curb the enthusiasm. I really do get that, because I do feel myself kind of getting pulled away. Like, every episode, the hype and the squee has just
the squee
is high. But the reality is that they did. Those of the cast and crew that interact with us online through social media have told us in many different ways all the extra time they spent on this season to make it a better product. So I want to believe that's going to come to fruition, and I feel like episodes 1 through 6 so far have delivered on that.
Yes,
message.
I agree.
So I'm going to continue to be hopeful based on that.
I'm in the same boat. I have heard nothing that would suggest to me that it plateaus at worst. Like, even if I literally, anytime I've been lucky enough to interact with anyone who has any knowledge whatsoever, all I have been told, because people are wowed over season 2 from the like, they're like, keep watching, it gets better, it'll keep getting better, it keeps going up, it keeps going up. That's all I'm hearing.
Okay, good.
No one said anything like, oh, I hope you like this was my favorite, like, or anything. Like, no one's telling me those sorts of things. But
Sarah Nakamura today online.
Yeah.
I'm not following Twitter or anything. I'm not seeing any of these posts.
It came through, and I didn't meant to clear it, but I saw it, and it was, I'm paraphrasing heavily, but like, I've only been waiting for you guys to see this for 2 years.
Yeah.
That speaks volumes.
Oh God, fins.
Fins. Oh my God, yeah, do might as well.
I can't even. If we saw just a little trickle and a beheading of Do Might As Well is going to be like Game of Thrones is going to be put to shame. That's all I'm
saying. Will be on so many bumper stickers. But anyways, carry on.
But yeah, every indicator is just saying it's just going to get better and better and better. And I feel like season 1 was written with, we need to set the story, give a lot of exposition, and then fuck around with casting and COVID. I feel that's why it was kind of like, this is season 1 with ups and downs of things, and then they went to season 2 and they were like, take some more time, put more of this in, put more of that in. You don't have to deal with COVID quite to the same degree obviously there will still be some of it, I imagine. And then they built, because episodes 1 to 3 dropped, and I went, oh, episode 1 and episode 2 and then episode 3, and not just how I liked them, but the pacing built throughout them.
Yes.
If you had
The
dropped
tension.
episode 1, I'd have been like, that's how you start it? Oh, okay.
And I wouldn't know. I was wasted by then, but I believe
That's fair. But like episode 1 and 2 together, I've been like, oh, okay. Like I can see that like they were edited together to build the pace of all 3 being dropped together.
Yeah.
I think they built the whole season to be like at the upward arc.
Yeah. And I can see that. And I actually have to go back and rewatch because that was a week after my surgery.
Ah, right.
I was still pretty heavily under some pain meds.
That's fair. You had you had some serious surgery, so
I actually, my daughter, I'm gonna brag real quick, just got her esthetician's license today issued. She passed her state certification. So
wait, ramen rattle. Wrong show, but ramen rattle.
All I have is Gatorade.
I'm doing the theater clap. I'm like, theater kid.
Anyway, but she's a huge fan of season 1 and non-book reader. So now that her stuff is like calming down, she's going to come over and we're going to stream. We're going to do watch parties on Twitch and stream her reactions to season 2. So I'm super excited to do this because she thinks she typically likes dark chocolate, if you know what I mean. But she thinks Rand is like perfection walking. So I'm really interested to see the 22-year-old take of Seline and Rand together. Like, honestly. So anyway, so we'll and that's coming. That's coming. And I'll be able to rewatch those first 3 episodes then because I was under the influence of some
That's fair.
So I'm a little
pain pills.
I could get voted off the island a little bit, but
No.
I'm not as horrified by the Rand and Seline as some of my friends online are. The betrayal
What do you mean by horrified?
of Egwene is nothing to me. I know that's terrible, but I'm like, dude.
It happens in the book.
Yeah,
I mean, they get their groove on, right?
I don't get the whole. That's one thing actually, generally from this season, I don't get the like Rand and Egwene are still in love.
I would not expect him to
get it.
pine
Like,
for Egwene at all.
But he still cares for Egwene.
Yes.
Yes,
yeah, but
clearly.
But
Selene is
that doesn't work for
hot.
Yeah.
And she's a little bit older, and she's the first woman who ever treated him like a man.
Man, and you know what? I think that I thought that was a very sincere sentiment.
It's
like,
true. It's 100% true.
Get that. Friends that I made in high school, or physical relationships I had,
boys that you slept with in high school,
did not matter. Did not hit the same. Not that they didn't matter. They don't hit the same.
Beth's
as
getting after dark
relationships as
now,
an
folks.
adult. And we're gonna move on because I'm getting
Sorry. I was after
love
high
that.
school. My experience, I was a late
Folks.
bloomer. Mine was after high school. But anyway, sorry. Moving
That's
right
fine.
on.
We're gonna wind it down there, folks.
I love you
Thank
guys.
you so much for watching.
It's the mommy juice.
That's fine. Please remember those
Sure.
tips we shared about trauma. Make sure you take all those steps. I'll just do another reminder, folks. Make sure you're attending to your physical needs, hydrate, eat, whatever you need to do there. Make yourself feel physically safe. Pillows, blankets, pets, loved ones around you, whatever you find comforting, make sure you've got those things. Know that anything you're feeling is normal and it's okay. And don't overprocess what you're watching, folks. Take breaks from it, where you need to. Or if you need to, skip it.
Yes.
So make sure you're looking after yourself in those
Nothing
ways,
wrong
folks.
with skipping it if you need
Absolutely.
to. 100%.
So
And
thank you, Jess.
Amazon, put a trigger warning on this episode. Amazon.
Yeah, true. Jess and Dan, thank you for joining me. Like, you were supposed to be here for episode 4, and then there was
You
drop
didn't
time
drop.
issues. So I'm so glad that you could be here. Beth, thank you for joining.
I was supposed to be here next week.
Beth was going to be here next, but that's absolutely fine because next week I have, I'm pretty sure it's Joe from Talk Around World. Yes, I want to. Let me just confirm that before I say that.
I'm going to be playing Third Age next week
Amazing.
at this
Yes.
time.
So I have Joe from Talk Around Yard and Alan from the Will Reads next week joining me.
That's a good one.
That's a
So-
great
Good
Yeah,
company.
We're going to have some fun there. And then
You need to find a
obviously-
female to join that crew.
Well, I had one.
I
You were there, Beth. So
Wow.
I will keep
find
looking for
another
a
one.
fourth. I'll keep looking for a fourth guest for a fourth person. And then, so that's obviously on the 28th, and then on the 5th, it's a party for the finale. So I have Zool, I have Tree, I have Jen Sedai, Megan Pryor, Kathy from Dragonmount, Ali, and Gus.
I can't even.
wow.
I can't.
Gonna be a
even.
party. I'm gonna make sure I'm off the next day, folks, because that ain't gonna
Yes.
be a 2-hour stream. That's gonna be like however long we feel
All
like going
night
for.
stream. All night.
So, yeah.
All night long. All night.
But yes, thank you so much.
You have to
Dan
play
and Jesse
Lionel
for
Richie
being
in the
here.
background if you can, without getting a
Uh,
copyright strike.
That would
That's a good question. Why is there a third age schedule for show release? That's a good-
Because it was the only time we could ever get together for our league game. That's legit. The four of us that
Fair.
are playing, it's the only night we could work. It was either tonight or next Thursday. So
Well,
yeah.
There we go. Anyway, folks,
Anyway.
thank you for watching. If you are new, like subscribe to the channel. Please like the video, share it around so other folks can get it. Comment below. Please comment below with your thoughts about the episode, and go watch it lots. And give love to the actors, the directors, and the writers, because I'm sure they are all very anxious to hear what we think about this episode. I know that there'll be a lot of thoughts about it. So go out, be kind, be constructive with the things you don't like. Don't just hate it for the sake of hating for it.
Be kind,
Be
please.
kind. Yes.
Rewind.
be kind.
No, that's something else.
All right. Good night, everybody. Bye.
Jessica Daniel, I love you.
I love you
Bye.
guys.